Hello, welcome back to the Water Boy. Got a bit of a treat of an unveil today. Inside this box is an American water softener. Let's have a look, see what it is. Okay, let's have a look. And this is the Hague Maximiser. Let's take a look, see what it's like. So it comes with some adapters to reduce it down to 3/4 from an inch. So this will do both inch plumbing and 3/4. It's also got the UK power adapter, handbook, and some hose for the regeneration and overflow. There's also, we found in the bottom of the tray, some hardness testing, and if we look inside, you see a little grate at the bottom where the salt sits on. There's a slide in front, and first impression, to say the size of the machine and how heavy it is, because it really weighs quite a bit, the salt container is quite small in comparison to the machine. Let's take a look underneath. So this lid with the sliding plug comes off. It leaves everything in situ. First thing I noticed, the control panel comes off. There's 5 buttons on there, and this control panel operates this valve. The valve seems to be a piston and cylinder on its side. It's got an AC motor. Most of the water softeners nowadays are DC motors, but I expect that's because there's a cam on this side, and the AC motor sort of provides a timed turning, so it's nice and steady turning. And as this cam goes round, there's a little piston there which operates different things. Very simple. I do like the simplicity of it. And you need very minimum tools to work on this. It looks like a posi drive screwdriver. This section here is a well, and inside the well there's a float operated valve. To make it look a bit different to the competition, they've actually called it a safety shut-off assembly, but in essence it's just a float operated valve which will limit how much water goes back in once the brine has been taken out. I notice on this model the actual connections to your water main is on the right hand side, and the one closest to, or the right hand side, is the intake, and on the outtake or the outlet there's a little flow rate meter inside which is connected to the control panel. So that tells you that it's a metered machine and that it will only regenerate when it's a specific amount of water what's been used. In between the inlet and the outlet is a bladed slot, and this is actually for a blending valve. So if you don't like the silkiness of the softened water, or you might find it very slippy in the shower, if you have elderly parents or something like that, you can actually blend a bit of the hard water back into it. Very useful. Without that, some people try and put the bypass on, and it's the wrong way to do because you're messing about with different blends and also different hardness. So this is a fantastic little device there called a blending valve. Pack, you get a little male screw-in thread with a 3/8 push fit female. This is for the regen, and that screws in the socket at the back. I quite like these connectors because they are quite positive. There's a safety clip on there so that the pipe don't accidentally come back out, so that locks it into position there. Nice little touch. Let's pop the lid back on. Goes on quite neatly. I do like the sliding top. Let's do some measurements. So we've got 530 about 800. By about 455. So going to standard cupboard, it will slide in a normal cupboard under a worktop. It wouldn't go under a sink very easily. You'd have to cut the bottom of the base out. I'm told it's got 16 litres of resin in there, which will produce about 2,500 litres of soft water at a hardness level of about 300 parts per million. So it's got bags and bags of capacity. The working pressures, the minimum amount is about 1.4, which you could come unstuck with that, because in the UK the minimum amount of water pressure that they have to provide from the water authority is just over 1 bar. So I'd recommend testing your water pressure before you decide on this model. All in all, I quite like the design of it. I like the simplicity of it. It is simple. The circuit board doesn't do a lot, but it lets you set it up, it tells the time, lets you set the regen time. But all in all, big unit, 16 litres of resin. I'm also told it's got a refiner on it, so it's actually removing chlorine. I think personally they've put a high efficiency resin in there, so high efficiency resins can get contaminated with chlorine, which damages it. So to stop that, they've had a great idea of putting a refiner in there, which will protect the resin. So how much is this machine going to cost? I've seen prices ranging from £1,300 to £1,600. Depends what area you're in. They have got a dealer network, so if you contact Hague, they'll be able to point you in the right direction. I'm sure dealers will come and do a little survey free of charge to establish whether or not it's going to be right, but get that pressure tested, because that's a big thing. The next video I've been asked to compare it to the Eco Water, so the nearest one to this one would be the Compact 200, very similar in size. The Compact's got a few hidden features on it, circuit board's very extensive, and it's got some smart technology, so stay tuned and watch out for the Eco Water video. And then if you jump over to the members page, you can actually see the comparison between the two, which is quite interesting. For your chance to win this Hague Water Softener, as you can see from the video, we've just unboxed it. It's brand spanking new. It's never been connected. If you want to win this, go over to the members page and you will have full details in there. We're going to do it as a lottery, and any money raised from it is going to go to charity. We haven't decided which one yet, but by the time you get onto the members page, it'll all be there. So brand spanking new, Hague 410, delivered to you anywhere in the UK. Stay tuned. If you haven't already done so, please hit subscribe, and we'll keep bringing you more and more videos all about water softening and pure drinking water. Stay tuned.